everyone. Thank you for watching Recipe Share and joining us for this episode. This is a program on AADL.TV where we take a few minutes to talk about recipes in a featured category. Today's category is unusual veggies. I'm Elizabeth, and as usual today, I'm joined by Katie and Beth to tell us about their recipes. So Katie, why don't you start us off and tell us about your recipe?
All right, thank you. So start out and talk about my unusual veggie a little bit. So what I've chosen to talk about today are parsnips. So parsnips are a root vegetable. They're closely related to a carrot, but they're slightly sweeter, especially when you cook them. They are high in dietary fiber, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. There's lots of potassium in here, so they're really good for you. So these veggies are unusual to me, but I'm starting to realize that maybe they're not as unusual as I thought to other people. My great-grandmother used to cook with these, and that's about the extent of my knowledge with them. I'd never seen anybody else cook them or use them myself until I found the recipe that I'm going to talk about today. Since I have declared these my unusual veggie, I've found that I'm stumbling across recipes that call for parsnips. So I did find one that is parsnips and carrots mashed, and that's what my granny used to make. So I think that's what these guys are going to end up turning into. But all that said, let me talk about the recipe that I'm going to share today. It is from this book that I checked out from the library. It's called Eating Out Loud by Erin Grinspan. The recipe that I chose is called Mom's Chicken Soup. I'm a big fan of chicken soup, and the reason why I was attracted to this one is because it calls for a whole chicken in the soup, and I'd never used that method to cook soup before, so I thought I would give it a shot. And it's also got carrots, celery, parsnips, onions, garlic, turmeric, parsley, and dill in this soup. So all of that combines to make this like just so classic comfort chicken soup. It was really lovely. The recipe makes a ton too. So had it for dinner and then froze a bunch of it. So here's a picture that I took yesterday of my lunch. I defrosted and heated up some of the soup and then made some sauteed spinach and fruit salad to go with it. It was wonderful. So it really freezes and defrosts very well. So that's a very appealing thing about this recipe. Just one other note about the recipe is that you always want to use caution when you're working with turmeric. It makes the soup this lovely yellow color, but it'll also stain your countertops. So I laid down some dish towels before making this, and I was really glad that I did. So that is Mom's Chicken Soup. I loved it. I highly recommend using this recipe. Questions or comments?
Yeah, Katie, I have a question. Were the parsnips, so you peel them,
yes,
right? And then did you just kind of like slice them or chop them? How were they used in the soup?
More of like a dice or a chunk, like a 1-inch chunk.
It sounds like a really restorative soup, like really, really good for you.
Yes, it's something that I imagine would be very good if you were sick as well. Something that, you know, is healthy, and yes, like you said, restorative is a perfect word.
Can you say a little bit, can you just say about the book you held up? Is it a certain theme, or is it just like, what's the premise?
Okay, yeah. So it's bold Middle Eastern flavors for all day, every day.
Cool. Awesome.
Yep. And since you asked about the cookbook, there is the best tahini Caesar salad dressing in here, and I've been making that a lot too, so yay. All right, well, Beth, tell us about your unusual veggie and your recipe.
Okay. Well, I decided to use a vegetable that's maybe not so unusual for a lot of people, but and I have used it before, but I used a turnip, and I decided to make pickled turnips. So I'll show it to you in a sec, but for me, using a beet in a recipe at all is unusual because I don't like beets. But so I found this recipe online just to look for pickled turnips. And I have to say, this brine was so delicious. It was all I could do to not eat them all before today. And I ended up saving the brine. I probably don't want to do this on TV but maybe I will. So briny and salty and tangy. I saved the brine for some other vegetables too. And I'm gonna use this all summer. I love pickled vegetables, especially when they're still like not overly pickled, just in the fridge. And so good, so tangy. It was strictly vinegar, water, salt, a couple of bay leaves, and some garlic crushed. And it took 5 days. Once it sits for 5 days, and then so I used half the recipe that it called for, but I had some really small turnips, and then just used a portion of a beet. But super, super good. I know Katie likes tangy stuff. I know you'll really like this, and I look forward to using it all summer long. So good. Also, what did I do with them? Well, over the week, we had potato salad. I put some in there. I had some on a taco last night, and it was really good that way. So I've just really liked them a lot. Yeah. Any questions about my pickled turnips plus a beets in there? You might say I turn up the beet on that recipe.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, yeah, I do have a question. So I guess I'm not used to turnips. I don't use them. So what looks like what you ate was something very small. Are they cut up?
Yeah. So
Okay.
this recipe called for them being cut up into like a baton shape, but
Okay.
but when I see them at restaurants, a lot of times they're sliced. I think that was a beet I just ate. It's okay.
It's so funny because I know Beth to not like beets. I love beets, so it's kind of frustrating to me that she doesn't, and the fact that she just ate a beet on camera just makes my heart happy.
It's really, you guys, if you like any kind of pickled veggie at all, I highly recommend doing it with your turnips and seeing what else you can do to pickle these suckers, because they're tasty.
That's awesome. I would have no idea what to do with a turnip, and so I'm excited for this idea. So thanks, Beth.
Well, in the past, I have used turnips. I have a beef stew I use, but also I've used them in mashed potatoes, and they're good. They just add a little different texture. So anyway, thanks for letting me share. And Elizabeth, let's hear about your unusual vegetable.
Sure, thanks. So I subscribed to a CSA over the summer, which I really like because it introduces me to a lot of not necessarily veggies I've never heard of, but veggies that I probably wouldn't buy at the store. And so this week I got these, they're called bacchus radishes. They're this really rich, deep purple. These are two different sizes. They're the same thing. But they're this like deep purple color. And I really like radishes, but I'm most familiar with just the like pinkish red ones with the white inside. And I really also like watermelon radishes. So I got these, and it said that these, I like looked them up, and it said that they just had a really like crunchy, refreshing flavor, and they weren't as spicy as the like pinkish ones that you typically see. So I was curious about these. So I did two different things with them. The first thing I did, because they said that they were kind of refreshing and crunchy, I actually quick pickled them just for like 20 minutes in vinegar with salt. And then I put them on some tacos. And that was really nice and added just like kind of countered the spice of the tacos with just a little bit of like crunch and like refreshing, just clean flavor. So that was a really quick, easy way to use them. But then I made this cucumber salad that was cucumber, celery, a bunch of fresh herbs like parsley, dill, cilantro, and then a lemon and lime juice, a little bit of olive oil, and a very thinly sliced jalapeno. And then I sliced some of these radishes into that as well. And they really balanced out the spice super well. And they added a kind of like extra crunch, because the cucumber I used was crunchy, but not like as crunchy as a radish. So it was really refreshing in that. The recipe didn't call for these, but I just thought it would be a good way to use them and add them in. And it really was. I enjoyed it a lot. And I think I would go out of my way to add these radishes in again to that, because I thought it like really boosted the little salad to the next level. And it was a really great summer, like it's so like cool and refreshing to just have the cucumber and the radishes and the like little bit of like tanginess and celery and all that. So that was delicious. And yeah, I guess I don't think of radishes like I love them, but I just mostly think of them as something you dip into things or maybe slice into a salad. And that's fine. I think those are great things to do, but I really wanted to try out some different ways to use these and see how I could like add them into some more dishes. So yeah, these are bacchus radishes. So that's what I did.
Very nice. I love radishes too. I love to snack on radishes. Are they white inside?
They're white inside, but they have the purple kind of like bleeds in a bit. So it's some of them are kind of almost like striated. Is that how you say that? But yeah, so
I struggle sometimes with how to use a radish. I usually put them on like my veggie trays and then I'll have leftover and what do I do with this? So the idea to put them in a cucumber salad is not something that I would have thought of, but it's something I'm really excited to try. So thank you.
Yes, I would recommend it. It was a nice addition. So
that's great.
Awesome. Any final thoughts? Any other comments?
I'm gonna try the radishes in my brine. Yeah.
Quick pickling them, I mean, was easy. It wasn't the whole 5-day thing, Beth, but they were really great after 20 minutes on tacos. So I'm sure they just get even better in your brine.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for watching Recipe Share, and be sure to click the link below to look at the event page on aadl.org to find the recipes we talked about, and feel free to share your own in the comments. Join us next time when we will be talking about using herbs in cooking, and we're looking forward to seeing what you've been making. So thank you for sharing. We'll see you next time.